The need of love. Visiting a state penitentiary as a chaplain, I was interested in the only entrance and exit to that dismal place. As I was led through a series of 3 massive gates, the system was explained. All gates were controlled by electronic devices that only one could be opened at a time. The gates were in the control of master switches that were carefully guarded. And I thought of the little man inside of each of us who's in a similar place, shut in by 3 massive gates with their iron bars. We languish in our prison of loneliness. These gates have already been mentioned as fear, inferiority complex, and a dreary sense of guilt within. These are the inescapable traits Adam passed on to each of us. As with all men in prison, many and ingenious are the methods we devise to open these gates. Shut away from others and from God, we endeavor to come up with some master plan that will unlock all 3 at once and set our weary personalities at liberty to be ourselves. We imagine that assigning causes to our anxieties will better help us to cope with them. Hence we have accepted the imagined reality of many phobias peculiar to us and hope this will help to free us. We apply the balm of self-confidence to our inferiority complex, but in spite of all our bolstered attitude, we are often overcome by a sinking feeling of inadequacy, a sense of worthlessness that drives us further within ourselves. We establish rigid scruples by which we endeavor to regulate our behavior in the hope that our haunting sense of guilt will be relieved by intermittent periods of self-acceptance. Oh, if only every human being could see that these unrelenting gates that imprison us are controlled by one master switch, and that by finding of that key, all 3 can open at once and set the captive free. That master switch is love. Your need is simply to experience real love. The greatest happiness in life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, say rather, loved in spite of ourselves. Lovelessness is the basic cause of all human misery. To live without love is to find no purpose, reason, or plan for life, and our very existence becomes an empty, futile passage of time. The majority of our hospital beds are occupied by mental patients, those who are incapacitated because of crippling emotional and mental problems. Weary with trying to open the gates to freedom, they have given up in their prison and lost all contact with reality. The suicide rate in America is extremely high and is the 3rd highest killer among the young people of our land. Yet the answer to all their questions and the solution to their problems in this life is to experience a real and lasting love. Most can relate to the sad words of Napoleon during the days of his exile. He said, "No one ever loved me, not even my mother." Facing the inescapable reality of what he was, and remembering the empty gestures others made and called them love, made him conclude that there was no such thing as real love. Though love has been the true subject of all poetry, music, and philosophy, and the true moving force back of all human history and literature, the experience of real, true, and lasting love has been as elusive as a shadow. Seldom do men grasp it so as to hold it. Love has been the object of all men's dreams, and without it life has no meaning. It has been defined 1,000 times and promised thousands more. It is the most sought-after experience in life. Men have lived for it, suffered for it, died for it, yet seldom experienced it so as to satisfy and fulfill the great capacity of their heart for love. Let us pursue this vast realm and see if by God's help we can discover a real and lasting love, a love that will open wide the gates that hold us and lead us into the liberty of life more abundant. We've searched for true love and been deceived, for we have searched among men, and men can only love themselves. Let us bring under the microscope the nature of love, and perhaps some of life's most frustrating questions may be answered.